Okay, in this video, the third video in our series of getting started in our course this semester with Canvas and the course materials, I'm going to dive a little deeper into the video lectures and the notes. Okay, so here we are back. I'm in the student view, so hopefully this is looking similar to what you'll see when you log in. You've got your welcome module, etc. We talked about that previously. But now we're going to dive into kind of the meat of the course and actually doing some of the work on your end. So one of the first things that I think it will be first sequentially as well. Your notes will be due each a chapter is kind of one of the first things, along with homework and in-class quiz. And then there's a more involved type of homework called workbook exercises that comes later. But I think the best place to start with a specific chapter is to get in and watch the video lecture. And the way that I've designed this course, I will do a little bit of lecturing class just to make sure that we're all up to speed and a little refresher. But I'm making these video lectures with the intention that you all will watch this before attending class. And so you'll have some level of understanding of the material when you come into class on a given chapter, and you'll be ready to start doing more hands-on work and less amount of time spent with me just talking to you all about the chapter, because that's basically what's captured in the video lectures. So please be timely on watching the video lectures. Do that as soon as possible. Come to class prepared to have a discussion and do work about these chapters after already watching this video. So with all that said, we're going to click into the video lecture link there, and then you're going to see a whole thing. So pre-recorded video lecture for chapter 1. And there is a note here as well. I'm going to try and put these on a lot of my videos just because I do find that sometimes the video quality is a little grainy looking. And so if you change the quality settings to 1080p and then sometimes set the video to full screen as opposed to just that, it's through YouTube. So the default YouTube screen, at least on my version of YouTube, is more the smaller view. If you go full screen, it does improve the video quality for some reason. So hopefully that's not an issue for anyone, but just a little helpful hint there if it is becoming problematic. Okay, so I mean, pretty basic. You're just going to click the link. It's going to take you in to the video, and you'll see, I've got about an hour of lecture here. So my goal is to cut out an hour of lecture that I'd be providing otherwise in class. And if you all want to speed up the video, there's playback speed settings. So if I'm talking slowly and you want to get through the video a little faster, you can go ahead and do that. If there's a concept or something that I say that you need me to say again while you're watching the lecture, you can easily just go back and watch that section again, etc. So I find that having these pre-recorded lectures are a good way to allow you to interact and save time on my end. So pretty straightforward.
In this video,
you're gonna click, play, and basically it's a whole presentation of different slides from our text materials. You don't have to have the online. This is just a YouTube video that I've created using the text materials, so you don't have to access the online textbook or anything to see any of this stuff. You're just clicking through the link that we just saw. And and then you're gonna watch the video. And what I would recommend while you're watching the video, then you can work on your notes here. So to get to the notes, we're just going to click this second button that says chapter 1 notes. It's going to bring up a page that looks like this. I will be providing you paper copies of the notes in class. And so as long as you don't lose that copy, and as long as I remember to actually hand them out, you should already have a printed copy of the notes for you to write in. The notes must be handwritten. But if you, like I said, lose those, or I somehow forget to actually do that, you can download a copy of the notes by clicking that link. I've got a copy in Word, and you can just, open that up and print this out and do your handwritten notes again that way. But as I mentioned, I should be able to provide a printed copy of these for you, so you shouldn't necessarily have to print these out. That's my goal anyway, but it is available if you need it. Okay, so you're going to watch the lecture here. You're going to have that printed copy of the notes in front of you. And actually, let me reopen that. or click into this here so we can just look real quickly at what the notes sort of look like. So, you know, chapter 1 notes, it's in this one, we've got 10 different things to take notes on here. So you'll just fill out these questions essentially, right? What is net worth? How is it calculated? And really this doesn't need to be anything extensive. You know, this isn't writing a paragraph or proper sentences or anything like that. I'm not going to be grading you for your writing here. Again, this is really more so notes just for yourself to key into the key, you know, to focus in on the key concepts. And so on this question, for example, it asks, what is net worth? How is it calculated? You know, in here, there's a section that talks about net worth, for example, and we can say net worth is the difference between your assets and your liabilities, and it's calculated as assets minus liabilities, for example. Something to that effect. You know, it really doesn't need to be any kind of long exposition about the materials. I mean, you could basically just take this sentence and write that in. And net worth is what is left after you cash out, for example. Net worth equals total assets minus liabilities. Something to that effect is absolutely fine for what I'm looking for in terms of how much detail to put in. So mostly just, you know, simple terms. What are revenues and expenses? Provide an example of each in your personal life. So what is the accounting equation? Very simple, just the equation, a T account. So everything that I discuss, everything in the notes should be discussed, and you should be able to answer, I believe, based on the video lectures. But if you do run into any spots that you need a little more detail, or you didn't quite get the explanation from the video lecture, feel free. That's when you're going to go into the text, online text resource that we talked about in the previous video, and you can go into the chapter. And you can find a spot in the chapter that will really dive into detail on all these different topics, and that should provide you with enough information to prepare the notes. So definitely, you have enough resources. I think you aren't going to necessarily need to do that, though. So I think if you just watch the lecture video and go through, in general, I'm pretty confident that you should be able to just get through the notes based with the video. But don't hesitate to dive further into the text and use that as a resource as well, because that's available for you. So, okay. So then after you watch the video and you fill all your notes out, the way that you're going to submit your notes after you've done them all is the way that I recommend. I highly recommend you download the View College Canvas app onto your phone. And when you go into the app, you'll basically access our course. You can go into a view that looks very similar to this. You know, this is the computer version, but you'll see something very similar. And then you can just click upload, and it will allow you to open your camera through your phone, and you can just take a picture of your handwritten notes and click a button, and that will automatically just upload them to Canvas for me to provide you a grade. So that's the easiest way, and I highly recommend that. Again, that's requiring you to download the View College Canvas app on your phone, and then use your phone's camera basically as like a scanner, if you will, to get a picture of your handwritten notes into Canvas and available for me to grade. If for some reason you aren't able to do that, you can also use a scanner, for example, and then upload, drag the file. You know, once you have the picture file of your notes completed, then you can just drag those onto the box here, or you can click this and then navigate through Windows to the file with the notes, etc. So however y'all can figure out to get the picture into this spot, like I said, the Canvas app is the easiest way, but if you use a computer to do it and a scanner, that's okay as well. So let me know if you're having any issues with that. Hopefully from a technical side, that doesn't present any problems. And I really recommend you to have the Canvas app anyway, not even just for submitting information, but I highly recommend you get the Canvas app and turn on notifications, because I believe that's the best way that you're going to get an immediate notification if I send out an email. Maybe something emergency came up and I have to cancel class for that evening, which I don't foresee, but life happens, you know. And so if you have the Canvas app with notifications on, you're going to get that notification immediately, and it's easier, and it doesn't require you to have to go in and check your Outlook emails or something, the Canvas inbox manually. It'll just pop up on your phone. So I highly recommend that. Let me know if you need any help downloading that or setting that up. I'm not a Canvas app expert, but I'm pretty sure I could help you get it set up. And I think it's really going to help you make it easier to do these uploads. And it's great to always be up to date in terms of things that I might be emailing out. So, okay, so that covers our lecture videos and notes. Watch the video, have the printed notes in front of you, complete the notes in a handwritten version, and then through different means, which I highly recommend the app. You're going to upload a photo of your handwritten notes for me to grade through the app, or by uploading that photo file here on a computer. So hopefully that helps clarify the process there. And as always, please let me know if you have any questions as we go forward. All right. Thanks, everyone. Bye.